Hey guys and gals, it's the Tuesday after the 4th of July, so it's the 7th. And our coach is still at Reading Freightliner. We just went by there today, and they're gonna get it up on the rack at 3:30 for the swing shift people. They want to make sure that there's nothing more but the alternator. We're on Lake Boulevard in Buckeye, California, in unincorporated rural Shasta County. Not so rural anymore, but Peterson Lane, my birth father's father, Norman, named this street. Now, he moved out here in the 40s, as I understand it, but I'm not sure. It may have been the 50s. Anyway, he knew a lot of people, and when he would have people come out to the property, to the house, there was no sign here. And so he got the county to put up a sign that said Peterson Lane. It was across over here by the car that all used to be high weeds. And when I was a kid with my Hanai dad, that has since screwed me, so I can sure pick him. There was a sign in the bushes, and I should have just picked it up and taken it with me. And the one time that I came out here, it was gone. So Peterson Lane in Buckeye, California, in Shasta County, is my grandfather named it. So there you go. So we're going to press on to the dam, and we're going to take some footage. So here you go. Further down Lake Boulevard, at the intersection with Shasta Dam Road, which is Highway 151, which goes from Interstate 5 to the dam, is the old hamlet of Summit City. And a while ago, maybe 20 years now, though it might be longer, the three unincorporated towns of Summit City, Project City, which is right off of I-5, and Central Valley, made themselves into Shasta Lake City. So damn it, I hit something. Anyway, the three unincorporated towns, they incorporated themselves into Shasta Lake City because Reading was expanding and annexing county land, and people up here who are not city folk, they talk about Reading as still being in town. They decided that they would make their own city, Shasta Lake City, so they could have local control and not let Reading annex them. They contract with the sheriff's office for police services, and Dublin, California did the same thing. They were unincorporated for a long time, and then they decided that the county wasn't doing a good enough job, so they formed their own city. Now, you pay a little bit more in taxes, certainly, but you get local control, and for a lot of people, that's important. So that's what happened up here. Now this is all Shasta Lake City, and we're pressing on to the dam. Our next stop, and I'm shouting a little loud. If it's too loud, I'm sorry. I noticed on some of the earlier clips that that the audio is really subdued. So I don't think the microphone is as good on this tablet as it is on a regular movie camera. Now, I tried to find a movie camera for about $200, and they're either $20 or $1,000. So I'm going to try with this tablet for a while. I'm not able to hold it very steady, unfortunately, but it's just one less thing for me to have to lug around. Anyway, we're at the Three Shastas Overlook on Highway 151 in Shasta County, California. And it's called the Three Shastas because from this vantage point, we see Shasta Dam, Lake Shasta, and Mount Shasta, which I hope you can see through the haze. Now, there are days where Mount Shasta stands out crystal clear, and it's gorgeous. It's not usually like that in the summer, but hopefully you can see it. Anyway, you can't take the tour of Shasta Dam anymore, and it's damn near impossible to even cross Shasta Dam anymore. It's not like it used to be, that's for damn sure. So, 3 Shastas, and we'll press on to the dam. We're at the visitor center in Shasta, at Shasta Dam, and after 9/11, it's very difficult to get across the dam anymore. I don't know what you have to do. The plaintiff and the turncoat and I took the dam tour here a while ago. And then my Hanai brother Charlie and I rode our 650s across the dam all the way through God knows where, and then ended up out in French Gulch, which is by Whiskeytown Lake on Highway 299. So the visitor center here is really nice, but it's closed. They have a big auditorium and everything. It's really sharp. Now, there was a while where you couldn't cross the dam. They were having some construction, so you took this little road right here, and there's a small bridge right on the river. Now, my mother has a picture of me wearing my Farrah Fawcett t-shirt. I'm about 15 in one of the droughts where, sorry, I hit something again and the goddamn Google Assistant came on. Anyway, my mom has a picture of me when I was about 15 wearing my Farrah Fawcett t-shirt with the towers in the background. Now, the towers were used in the dam construction. Now, when the dam was finished, the towers were cut, but not all the way down to the ground, because people figured that the dam would never get that low, or the lake would never get that low. Well, in the early to mid 70s, in the drought in the West, it did get that low. In fact, it's gotten that low twice, where in the 70s, the government cut the towers, and then the lake even got lower later in time, and they had to cut the towers again. So I don't know how low the towers are, but I haven't seen them since, and it's been a long time, even though there has been drought. And I have seen pictures of some of the old road bed and the old bridges across the Pitt River, not the new 1941 Pitt River Bridge, but the older US 99 and the Pacific Highway bridges across the Pitt River. So we are at Shasta Dam. It is nice up here. I will say that in my life, I've noticed that the deer are not up here anymore. I don't know what the story is. I don't know if there's just if they've all been eaten, or if the mountain lions have done them in, or if the expanding human presence in this neck of the woods has driven the deer in the more wild countryside. Anyway, we're up here and we're going to just kind of putt around for a little bit. We're not going to cross the dam, sadly. Ben Franklin said basically that those who sacrifice liberty for security deserve neither. And really, if I was going to blow up the dam, do you really think I'd drive a bobtail to the top of the dam? Of course not. I would rent a houseboat. I would fill it full with as much C4 as I possibly could. I'd sail it right up to the dam base, and then I'd detonate it. So, Americans are stupid. So, anyway, here you go. Our next stop finds us in what used to be Toyon, California, which is Indian trust land owned by the Bureau of Indian Affairs. Now, back when I started to come back up here in my early to mid teens, I think I got back with my Hanai dad when I was 13, right before my freshman year of high school. There were buildings here. People lived here. Tribal members lived here. I don't know if it was one tribe or or how much tribal DNA you needed to live here, or I really don't know a lot about it. I was a kid, but I do remember my Hanai dad saying that, my Hanai dad was a drummer, and he had a band, and somehow I keep on hitting Google Assistant. I don't know what the hell it is. I don't want Google Assistant. These sons of bitches make me have it. Anyway, I don't like using the front-facing camera because it's a mirror image. And I'm just anal retentive, and it makes me nuts. Anyway, my Hanai dad, his band, his lead guitarist, Jimmy, was tribal. And he did live here. So I have been here as a kid. Anyway, I don't know what happened to the people who lived here. I don't know where they live now. But over time, the government let the housing become derelict. And then as homeless were here and there was a fire risk, and certainly up here in the summer, one inadvertent spark could burn down half the state, as we have seen. The government tore everything down, and it's just now open or raw land fenced off. So Toyon is where we are. We're on Highway 151 heading back in the Central Valley, and we'll see what's next.